is Stormy once again, and we are at the final part of the Active Directory Azure lab, where we have gone and created two virtual machines, one for a client, one for the domain controller. And we went ahead and we installed Active Directory onto the domain controller. We've created some admin users, some non-admin users. We've done some DNS configurations, and now we are going to do some network share file shares. And now we're going to do networking, file shares, and permissions. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So the first thing we want to do, we're going to go to our domain controller, and this is going to confirm that we're in the domain controller because we named it DC1. Excuse me, we can just check the IP address here, matches the domain controller, but if you also want to do a double check, just go into the command line. Okay, let's just run as administrator just in case we need those permissions. And check the host name. All right, who am I? Signed in as, and I'm signed in as the lab user. Okay, and so for this particular one, we're actually going to log out because we need to log in as the admin that we created. So, and we're also going to probably change the login for this client one. So let's close these out. We'll open a new one. Okay. Let's see what the host name is. Okay. Oh, no, who am I? Okay, this is admin. So we need to sign out of this one. That's the client, and we'll sign out of, we'll disconnect, and we will reconnect as Stormy _ admin, our password, our tricky password. Okay. All right, now let's go back to client one, sign in as a random user. Okay, and who was our random user button? Well, let's go back and check. Okay. Oh, we didn't document here, but I actually wrote it down. I think it was rar at mydomain.com. It should be password one, maybe. Let's see. Yep. Okay, sounds good. All right, so we have our logins correctly. Client one, we're logged in as a random user, and the domain controller, we are logged in as the administrator that we created and gave the rights to. So we're going to open Active Directory, and so that means we'll need to go to the right computer. Let's close this out because this was from our last lab. No. Okay, I don't want to save. Okay. All right, so we have our random users, information, our employees. Okay, so we're going to go to Active Directory. We are in Active Directory. Okay, we'll open Active Directory from the start menu. We're in users and computers. We need to go to my domain here, which we already are. Employees, pick a name. Let's pick the one that we already are using. Okay. And I'm just going to write the name down. All right. And we've already logged into client one with this user's name. So we can stay in DC1. We're going to go to C drive. Okay. Let's go to the control panel. Nope, not the control panel. Sorry about that, guys. File Explorer. Go to the C drive. And we need to create some folders. We have 4 different folders. All right, so the first one is going to be read access. The next one is going to be write access. The next one is going to be no access. And the last one is going to be accounting. All right. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is click on the read access, and we'll go into properties and sharing. We're going to change the permissions in here. Sharing. I need to go to share. Oh, maybe I think I missed a step. Okay, let's get the domain users. Let's see, let's find everyone. Back, let's go to, okay, so we're going to go to re-access. We're going to go to the first folder, right click, go to properties, go to sharing, share, type in domain users, click add, domain users, and we want to give them just read access. And share, done, close. All right, so the right access properties, sharing, share, domain users, and we need read and write access. Share, done, and close. No access properties, sharing, share, domain users, add, we can also get read and write access. And accounting, we will make that change later on in the lab. All right, so if we make an attempt to access the file shares as a normal user, we can definitely see the results. So let's go over to client 1. Okay, close this out. Okay, we got to put it back up. Let's check the host name. Client 1 is correct. So we need to open File Manager. All right. File Explorer. Okay. So let's try it from this angle. File Explorer. See if it gives us the option. Access. What is it? Backslash. I'm not sure if this is the right way to do it. Let's go back. Oh, no, not there. Okay. Right, so let's go and // DC. This one. Okay. Now we're going to try to access the read file. Let's see. We should not be able to access this. Oh no, we can access because we should have read permissions. Oh, but we don't have write permissions. So let's try to create a new document. New file, you need permissions. There we go. Okay, so everything's working good for this configuration. All right, it says you need permissions to perform this action. So we have the read permissions, but we do not have the write permissions. We can close that out. Now we can try to access the write access, create a file, text update, and let's just create the document. All right. So we'll just rename this as test. Okay. Everything's working good so far. So as we can see, we need admin permission in order to create a file in the read access folder because we only have read writes. In the write access, we have read and write permission. So we're able to create a file there. So now let's go back to DC1. Okay, please go away. There we go. All right. We'll go back over to DC1. and create a file so we can see the difference here. We're logged in as an admin and we should be able to create the file. Yes, in the read access. See, we're in the read access folder. This is a test. Okay. Now let's open it up. You can also write and okay. Close it and close. Let's save. Oh, wrong command. Let's save it from. Is it going to automatically save? I guess it asks us. Yes, there we go. Right. So let's go back and see how this looks on the client side. Go to client one. Let's go to DC1. Read. Let's see what it says when we try to open this file. Okay, so we can read it, but we cannot make any changes to it. Let's try to make some changes. Hello, world. Okay, let's try to save it. Okay, you want to save? Yes. Oh, but it let me save it. Let's see what happens when we try to save it. That one already exists. Okay, so we only have read access on the client side. Okay, so it's not allowing us to save our changes to the existing file because we don't have admin rights, but it's not telling us that. It's just automatically going ahead and creating a save as file because I don't think I clicked save as. Let's see. Nope, I just click save. Yeah, so it's creating a duplicate because we don't have the rights to save to this file. But we shouldn't have the rights to create a file either. Okay. Yes, let's replace it. Okay, there it is. So you do not have permission to open this file, so you're the owner of the file or an administrator to obtain permissions. Okay, all right. Okay, so it's behaving the way that it should. Okay, don't save. All right. Okay, so that's good. It's behaving the right way. Okay, we don't have the permission to make any changes. We don't have permissions to write it, but we can read it. Okay, so now let's go back to the domain controller once again. We need to go to Active Directory, add users and computers, go to my domain, click new. Okay, and we need to go to organizational unit. And we're going to create security groups. Click OK. Right click, domain name, refresh. Okay, let's go into security groups. Right click, new group, and we're going to create a group for the accountants. So security group type. Okay, so those. Right now, I need to go back to C drive, Windows, and accounting folder. All right, assign some permissions for the accountants. Go to properties, sharing, share. All right, I need to add the accountant. Click add. Oh. Let me go back. Oh, I spelled it wrong. LCC, ACC, OUTANTS. And we are not going to work on trying to figure out how to change that right now. I will just type it verbatim for lab purposes. But just be conscious of that when you're working. I usually work on a Mac. I'm wearing my glasses, and yet and still sometimes it's very difficult for me to see some of the fonts that are on PCs. However, I'm forcing myself to kind of deal with that. Okay, let's take this N out. Okay, here we go. And the accountants are going to need read, write access. Share and done. So I'm taking a mental note for myself to just go ahead and make sure that I double, triple check, because I do rely on spell check a lot, and that is not active in every application that you use on the internet or on the computer. So I need to do a double check and a deep zoom with my glasses on. All right, so we went ahead and we changed the permissions for the new security group that we created, which is titled Accountants. And we are going to go back to client 1. Okay. All right, we're in client 1. Let's go to File Manager. We're already in DC1. Let's go to Windows. And, oh, wait a minute. Let's go. Let's just make it easier on ourselves. DC-1. Accounting. Oh, I don't have access. I'm not in the accounting group. Or can't access. Oh, it can't access because you do not have permissions to access accounting. Contact your network administrator to request access. I don't have access because I'm not a part of the security group under the accountants. So we went ahead and we also configured the accounting group folder correctly, only giving read and write rights to the accountants. Now, let's go back to DC1. Okay, that was done correctly. We're going to go back to DC1 and to Active Directory, Security Groups, Open Accountants, Members, and we're going to let's add our username for client 1. And it's going to be, we went ahead and we added our user, Bunrar. Okay, so let's go ahead and click OK. All right, he's going to be the one that we add to the accountant group so we can see the difference in access for the folders. Let's click OK. Let's go back to client 1. And I swear, if this does not stay down, close, please. Thank you. Okay, so let's see who we are signed in as. Somebody signed in. Okay, we're already signed in as Bunrar. But we want to log out and log back in so that the permissions can be reset. All right, so let's go back to our VM machines. Disconnect. Reconnect. Log in as bun.rar at mydomain.com. And let's get our permissions reset. We'll go back in. I'm already in the file manager. And now we can try to access. Is that correct? Let's close it out and open it back up again. We still don't have access. Did we properly log out? How about we copy? Oh, you won't let me copy it? Okay. Let's disconnect. Let's close this out. All right, let's do it again all the way from the beginning. It may still have the same information up there. Let's see. Let's just do a hard log out. Now let's connect. File manager. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. Counting. Okay, we still don't have proper access. Okay, let's go back. Let's make sure he's in the group correctly. does members? Yes, does he need a certain type of rights or something? Members. Okay. Properties. Let's log out of. Oh, how about we do this? Let's refresh. Okay. Now we'll do a disconnect. Log back in. Okay, and this is button. Okay, let's see. Still don't have access. Let's see if we can open these. This is odd. Maybe he needs admin rights. See, do we need to? I want to know if we need to add the domain at the end. Or is it just the username?
Go to the account.
Go and let's go to. Where do we want to go? Let's go to employees. Or let's say properties. Member of account and security group. So why can't he access the file? We had the proper permissions. Okay. Maybe we need to click apply. Okay. Let's try it one more time. Let's disconnect and log in again. Something isn't right. Let's see. Okay, let's try. I don't know if this is really going to matter, but let's try to log off the command line. And then log back in. My domain. Okay, so now let's go back to folders and try to access it. Awesome. All right, so we have to make sure that we log off from the command line. All right, so we were able to successfully complete every task in this lab. Guys, this is actually my very, very first time working on this lab, and you were able to join me in this gigantic, massive task, and I really appreciate you sticking with me all the way to the end. So I'm probably going to practice this a few more times just to make sure I have all the steps written down properly because I will not be able to remember everything. But the most important thing is when you're working on this lab or any other lab is that you do not give up. You continue to try to troubleshoot. You go back to your notes. You go back to any help that you could get. This is a course careers course, so you go back to the Discord and you may ask for assistance or something, or maybe you could do a Google search to try to figure out. But kind of like troubleshooting, backtracking, going backwards on your steps, and just making sure that things are configured correctly. You can see how that can easily solve your problem if you just do a little research and maybe going back on your footsteps. So I'm not saying that it's easy at all because this was a very, very, very long lab, and I've been working on it for hours today. I think I started at maybe 11 o'clock and it's 8:22 right now. Of course, I had to stop in between and do some things. However, it's done. Okay. So thank you again, and I look forward to you joining me in my next video.